Hello, hello. I just realized something. The model, there it goes. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Mwah. How's everybody doing today? Hi, Gene. I wanted to say thank you for one of the most recent posts. It was very kind and... Ooh, wait. Kind, and me and a bunch of others needed it. I'm so glad I stumbled across your content. Definitely made my day better. Please know me and a bunch of others rooting for you. Much love. Oh, sweetie. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I miss you all so much, and thank you for the follow, Neil Soapy Castles. The name feels like it means something, and it's throwing me off. Anyway. Hi, finally made it to stream. Been seeing you on TikTok for days. I've only been posting for days. Well, only been doing well for days. So that means you've been seeing me the whole time. That makes you an OG. I hope you know that. All right, so before we get into things, we're just going to be mostly hanging out today. You know what we have to do. I got to go through all... Wow. That's a lot of check-ins. I'm going to go say hi and congratulate the people who got first, second, and third. And then we're going to go through and say hi to everybody who checked in. You still have time to check in if you want me to say hi. All right, so first, Vanya, congratulations on getting first. Hello, Vanya. Look at my mod stealing first, as they should. Vanya, leading by example. Let's get a little closer real quick. Whamp. There we are. All right. Next up, we have Nap Time. Thank you for getting second. And Paranormal Dove. I keep seeing you all over the place. Thank you for getting third. And for all of you who checked in, hi, Carmia, and hello, Neeks and Nap Time. Hello, Moonflowers and Lachlan. And is it Ellie or Eli? Hello, Gibbets and Macaroni and Cheddar. Hello, Dwarf. Hello, Shien. Hello, Onyx. Hello, Princess KYVT. Oh, I'm about to get bonked, aren't I? Is that what's happening? Is that why we... Yep, there it is. Violence. Horrible, horrible violence. Against me, of all people. Hello, Sophie. Hello, Silverfang. Hello, Pandragon and Cheshire. And hello, Meow Kitty Cat. Hello, Misty Harvest. Hello, Vanya for a second time. Love seeing you twice. Hello, Axe. No, Sif, not Axe. What's the Axe for? Sif, explain the AX to me. It's important. Thank you for the bits. Hello, Boku. Hello, Kimizu. Hello, Kitty Lover. Hello, Red Moon. Gotcha. Hello, Sinful Microwave. Gene, you must be added to my harem now. No. Hello, Sinful Microwave. Hello, Kira. Hello, Catherine and Blue Valley Lilies. And hello, Addie. And thank you for the headbands. Thank you for the follow, Neil Soapy Castles. And hello, Honey. Hello, Ace of Spade. Hello, Lunar. Hello, Paranormal Dove again. Hello, Lyra. And hello, Clockwork. And hello. And of course, somebody's immediately gonna redeem my voice acting request. So, Leo, the awful bad German accent I do that for some reason people still enjoy. Well, okay, so hello everybody. How has everybody been? What have you been doing today? Let's see what people have been doing. They don't have a smaller size and the arms are too big. Wait, what does this mean? I feel like I missed out something there. Okay, we're gonna scroll to a random part of the conversation. That's a hello. Thank you for that message, Princess, by the way. What do you mean XS is too big? Why are you so tiny? How are you legally allowed to be this small? Extra small. You can't be smaller than that size. How is that even possible? What are you trying to wear? You think you're getting sick? Oh no, Dwarf, take care of yourself. I will not join anybody's harem, no. Thank you. I'm an S. Oh, so it's lying to you. Got it. I'm gonna go with crafty people worked on crochet cardigan while playing therapist. Ooh. Was playing therapist fun at least, or was that a thing you didn't want to do? You get skinny shamed? Okay, I'm thin. Well, yeah, you're tiny. It's okay, chat. Everyone is tiny. Everyone except Dar. Could we get a shout out for Dar, my little shark boy? But everybody else, under 6'4", you're shorter than me, so you're small. Enjoy being small. Sweet 5 streaks, again, I'm not here. Got it, Tile Rise. Understood, you're not here. Today has been an exhausting day. Today has been an exhausting day. Oh, I can talk about this. Okay. Give me 1 second, so I want the accent to end a little bit first. Wait a second, we're almost there. We're almost there. In about 5, 4s, 3s, 2s, 1s, 1.5, 1 3/4. Maybe I have a lot more than what I thought. Come on, come on. Almost there, almost there. Come on, let me speak in a normal voice, please. It is there. Perfect. Okay, hello. So, here's what happened. I need to run you all through my day. Because, oh my god. Oh my, was it insane. I don't know who I upset this morning. Probably myself, because I can't blame anybody else for my issues but myself. But here's what happened, okay? Woke up this morning. 3 leg cramps in a row. 3 leg cramps in a row was insane. It was so painful. You wake up, leg cramps. Oh no, it's fine. You know, you stretch out your leg. It's awful. Immediately my leg tightens again. Okay, this isn't funny, and it tightens a 3rd time. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I end up getting up, you know, going to the bathroom, going back to lay down, and immediately it starts cramping again. So I pull my knees up to my chest, and I'm just like cuddled in a ball, trying to sleep longer so that my muscles don't, again, spasm because I can't figure out what's going on. Honestly, I'm assuming that I was just dehydrated or something and have had no potassium for... Oh my. Long enough that the bananas I was freezing in the fridge have gone bad. The frozen bananas have gone bad. Like, they've changed shape, and it's kind of scary. So, after that, I tried to start my stream this morning, and I lost my glasses, completely lost them, so they're I have no clue where. I think I lost them because I knocked them down when getting up with my leg cramp. Then I, took a shower, as you do. Got out of the shower all excited because the new TikTok was doing pretty well, and then I liked the one I posted. And went to go put on my one of my favorite work shirts. It's a lovely, long sleeve, purple button up. It's getting a little chilly in Colorado, so I thought, I'd look nice and go into work. And I put it on my head, and I hear a rip. I barely moved. And I look down, and it's ripped all the way down the side of it. All the buttons have separated, and there's this massive gap hole showing off like half of my chest. Which, hey, not the worst thing to ever see, but honestly, I don't think they're going to like it at work. So I had to go put on different clothes. Turns out, I just gotten myself house shoes that are very comfy and that I like to wear around, and I forgot I was wearing them. So I walked to work. I didn't walk to work. I drove to work in my house shoes. It was my house shoes all day. Luckily, they don't look too crazy. And halfway through the drive, I realized my hair feels weird. I had forgotten to wash out the shampoo from my hair. So not only did I get to work with, not the shirt I wanted to wear, wearing house shoes, my hair was plastered to the side of my head with shampoo I'd forgotten. Luckily, I had managed to make 10 batches of butter chicken this morning. I guess technically it's a tiki masala or something. So I did have lunch I took with me. But since then, it turns I also over-medicated, so I've been highly anxious all day. And I dealt with exclusively very dumb people who were like, I'm like, hey, here's this question I'm asking you. Oh, here's 30,000 answers that you didn't ask. Cool. Can you answer the question I asked you so I can fix your problem? No. Great. And that was how my day went. Oh, and I'm also on call today, so if I get randomly called in the middle of stream and I run away, understand that I will be back, unless it goes on for like more than 10 minutes, because I am technically still working. I'm getting paid for the overtime, though, so that's nice. Yes. Yes. Today has been so tiring and stressful, but the reason why I'm late to stream, let me make my excuses. I have a good reason. Oh, yeah, there's a safe word. I occasionally like flirting, and if you ever feel uncomfortable with any of the comments or jokes that are made towards you, please let me know, and you can just use the word banana. Oh, for the sniffer. Stinky chat. Thank you for the check-in, Pinky, Spicy, Anna, Unstable Raccoon, Brookie, and Vividly Dreaming. But yes, so, here's an excuse. I've been seeing these TikToks being posted from this this author, right? And they keep describing their book that sounds like really, really interesting. And we all know Steph. I don't know if you've all met Steph yet. Steph Sue, TSU. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. She narrates books. That's her ASMR thing, narrating books and stuff. And she'd been looking for more authors. And I also been looking at more authors. And so I messaged them on TikTok, and I'm like, hey, you're a new author, right? And like you like the book. Would you mind if me and my friend potentially read the book on our streams at different times? And that person, actually, I need to make sure the pronouns. It's probably we're going to they them. This author, fantastic author, writes fantastic story, was like, yeah, totally. Go ahead and read it. I'm excited for you to read it, like out loud to your stream. And can you let me know when the VOD is posted so that like I can send people there, because I don't have like an official audiobook, and that'd be kind of cool. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be sick. So thank you for that, Pat. We have a cool book to read that has like cool alien stuff, war crimes. Ow, don't hit me. A lot of cool things in it. We'll give it a nice little try, because I like how they described it. We haven't read it yet, so I don't know if it's going to be my vibe. It might not be my vibe, but it still looks like it's really well written. I'll give you all links on how to go read it yourself. And yeah, that'll be a thing that's going to happen throughout this week. Well, not this week. Starting November, I'll start doing a few ASMR morning sessions. That's just going to be novel reading. Or hear me out. If we make this a full-time series, like if I stream and it's all I do is streaming, and like that becomes my life, I will start reading books every night. I'll do an hour reading every night to help you all go to sleep. But that's when I become a pro streamer, and that's going to be a while before we ever get there. Not necessarily starting Saturday, starting in November vaguely. All right, now we got to do the Southern voice, apparently. All right, and I gotta get a little bit undressed right now because I'm feeling a little sweaty with this amazing hoodie. So, give me a second, all right? What hit me in the face? Was that chocolate? No. He's too alpha. I'm sorry, I'm so alpha, chat. I'm just really an alpha maximum manly man who... Why is the one post pinned here just says gaming? But y'all are the sweetest. You know that? Y'all are the sweetest. Y'all are amazing. There's a book you need to read. Her Soul to Take. It's really good. I'll definitely read it. A reminder, though, unless I get an author's permission, I really can't read them on stream. So, if y'all want me to read a book, especially if it's an indie book, and y'all know some authors, I mean, I'm just saying, hitting them up, tell them, hey, my buddy, LuckyJene, would love to read it. If you're all right with that. All right, and a stretch. Oh, my arm is so tight right now. Ugh. A woo. Now, where were we? Foofy. All right, I'm also not wearing my glasses. I have contact lenses in right now, but they ain't the best. So if I do miss your message or something, I'm sorry. Vanya, you are a key feature of this stream. Without you, this stream is less than it is. So enjoy that. Is it daylight savings? Hey, it's daylight savings! Congratulations, everybody! Wait. Oh, Oz. Okay, no, it's only going to be until November 2nd, because November 2nd is when Oz changes. Man, that's lame. I got so excited. It's gonna reset itself and it's gonna be normal very soon. Oh, now, don't get me wrong. I don't like it either. I wish we just got rid of it and didn't have to deal with it. If I do get called into work, y'all will be unsupervised, except there are mods who might make things worse, all right? And back to normal. Yay. Okay. So, we're going to be activating the redeems that y'all can talk to me if you'd like. Text-to-speech and stuff. Let me also activate... Do I bring back Bonk? Do I want to let y'all hit me with things? Maybe I'm just going to increase the price of it. I might just increase the price of it, because y'all go crazy with it. All right, let me open up TTIS. TITS. Viewer rewards. Bam, bam, ba-dam. Increase the price of voice redeems. All right. You can bonk me. Do you know what's funny, though? Like, none of my days are bad. Why are none of my days bad? Because I get to talk to all of you about all the things that happened. And if I do something dumb, then, like, it's just another thing to talk to you about. If my life is weird, I have another thing to talk about. It's not bad, honestly. I enjoy having bad days because then I can share them with you. So there you go. Y'all are great. Y'all are amazing. I appreciate you all so very, 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 very much. Genuinely. And
nom 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 nom.
what was that? What was that? What is num 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 num? There we go. And one more thing. What am I looking for? We'll bring back the Proton Redeem. I think Proton Redeem is fine. And Chuck will also set a time limit of 5 minutes. There we are. All right. I know. I was still working on it. Took me a little while to get there. Oh, y'all, I let me get to there. All right, let me get there. It's gonna take me a little bit sometimes. All right. Be patient. I also have curry, so we're gonna eat some curry. I'm free. I'm sorry I was getting kidnapped by the purple line. Pink line. I might not have thought that through. I forgot. The higher the prices, the more things it throws. And I increased the price, so it just throws even more. It's so long. Oh, and we have one more thing. Yeah, I just get killed. I get beat to death. Hi, Brisk, dear. Brisk, I like your name. Ah! Oh, no! This is a bad idea. I'm putting a time limit on it. I'm putting a time limit. Help! Help! No! 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay. Okay. That was so much. It was so much. Okay. All right. I'm fine. I forgot what I was going to do.
Gene, scream some more for me, please.
No. What was I going to say? My brain is now gone. Oh, bits. I need to fix something. So I have it set up right now to, like, only give me alerts when bits are above, like, a stupid threshold. Because somebody was intentionally donating just the bare minimum amount of bits to be annoying, to make things alert. But that's dumb. And so I want to fix that real quick so that we can, you know, people can vibe and hang out and do stuff and not feel like I'm ignoring them, because I don't want to ignore you.
Ick, your day was bad. But it's okay. It passed. And hopefully you are all good now.
I am
Sending
all good.
you lots of love and hugs. Gene,
You're so cool.
I hope everything else goes well.
I'm just happy.
Woof, woof, bark, 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 woof, bark.
What was... I can't... Y'all... Okay. Y'all need to give me a minute here.
Morning
No.
stream worked way too well at knocking me out.
Stop being funny.
I lightly woke up when we raided someone, and then didn't wake up till 3, making me late for well.
You were late for work? No. Y'all need to stop being funny for like 5 minutes, okay?
Would you like an egg in this trying time?
I would. Okay.
No, meow, 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 puss.
What was that last one? Okay. Dashboard. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. I'm so dumb.
Egg, 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 egg.
Are you okay? Do we need to do you need to talk? Should we get somebody to talk to you?
Egg, 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 egg.
Yeah? We sure about that? You sure?
Egg, 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 egg.
Okay. Really though? Are we 100% on that one?
Sorry, Tycho 6, sorry, kein screens. You're actually spotting Tycho 6 rumors that ik was ikasi going. Ik kan eigenlijk morgen weer. Is like is as much in star fake was ik kina stilling on ik roar geeking psycho serenigering.
That was an egg.
Give us egg sandwiches.
That was an egg. What was that?
Egg, 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 egg,
Okay.
egg, 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 egg.
My brain is absolutely fried. What I'm trying to do is, okay, we'll do the bit thing later. Somebody remind me about bits later, okay? We'll do bits later, okay? I'll set it up later so that when people bit, there's going to be stuff. Ban the word. I refuse to ban egg.
I will not behave when you leave. Egg, 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 egg.
Egg. Hello, honey skies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. Greatly appreciated.
Fried eggs. Fried eggs. Fried eggs. Fried eggs. Fried eggs. Fried eggs. Fried
Thank you for the follow, James.
eggs.
James.
Fried
James.
eggs.
James.
Fried
James
eggs.
James DeLong.
Fried eggs. Fried eggs. Fried
Okay.
eggs.
Are we good? Are we good?
Coca-Cola! I just drank like 10 cans of Coke and my sister is buying me more.
Would you like an egg in these trying times?
All right. I have an idea. I'm putting limits per person.
Egg sandwiches, egg sandwiches, egg sandwiches, egg sandwiches, egg sandwiches, egg sandwiches, egg sandwiches,
So we're
egg
going to
sandwiches, egg sandwiches.
We're putting on 2. Every voice redeem will have 2 uses per person for this stream. There we go.
Egg, egg, egg. I want your egg, egg, egg. I want your egg.
There we go. Chat's a prison. Why 2? Yes, the whole stream. Every person will have a limit of 2. That means everybody will get chances to do it, but we won't have people spamming it endlessly. Okay. My brain is gone. My brain is so gone. Do I like Coke? I love Coke. But what if I need to make more calls? I mean, that or I just ban the word egg, and I don't really want to ban the word egg, because what if eggs are very important that day? Also, it's just for today. Well, thank you so much for the redeem. I hate that one. Exactly. Don't ban my egg. I might ban your egg. I might spend them wisely. Use them carefully. The hall. Meanwhile, it's the Hall of Justice. Meanwhile, back in the Justice League. Batman's cooking eggs. Batman, why do you cook eggs? That's. I don't know what I'm doing. Did I say ooh? No, I didn't. Ow! Don't beat me. I would never say ooh. Who would ever say ooh? Not me. Love whatever's going on here. Happy to be here. I don't know what's going on here. I'm overstimulated. And I have a jar of curry in front of me that I can't eat because it's too full. Every time I put my fork in it, it starts falling. Oh, thank you. I do like Coke. Scheiße, why do you like this voice? Okay, you know what? We're going to make this next level. Hallo, liebe Leute. Gut, hallo, mein Name ist Leo und jetzt will ich ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen. Warum machst du das jetzt? Bitte nicht. Okay, so. Wir haben nix. Wir haben ganz nix für diese nächsten 2 Minuten. Und ich will diese Curry fressen. Aber nicht fressen. Fressen ist für diese Tier und nicht für einen Mann. Oh, wow. Nein, ich will das nicht machen. Ich mach das nicht. Es ist so ein blödes Wort. Ah. Sehr ist das besser. Hast du das? Wie ist alles jetzt, Pinky? Wirklich, du magst diese? Warum magst du diese Sprache? You're going to use your second? Why are you using your second? What are you using it for?
I'm going to use my second TTS so wisely. Oh, wait.
That is amazing. That is amazing. That was so good. I like that. That was funny. Maybe I just have no sense of humor, but I believe that was hilarious. Okay, we're going to have a bite of this curry. Nein, ich liebe keine Eier. Jetzt. Ein Moment. To Liederman. Well, we currently have the German redeem turned on, where I do a bad German accent, and that will keep going until the time is up. And I'm waiting. Can I put a time on the screen? What if we set a time on the screen? What if redeems give me mustache? That is an idea. Okay, chat, hear me out. I'm going to see if I can make it redeem so that it puts a different face on me at some point. Not today, because I'm lazy and I have other things to do. Like eat this curry while I talk to you. Also,
I bought Grinch boxers and my sister laughed at me.
you don't get left. I have to do this. This is very important. Look. Hey, don't you give me that look. You know exactly what must happen next. This is important. If I don't do this, you might leave. So. Okay. Xavier, have you ever noticed that stain in the corner? I've never noticed that stain before. I wonder what's down there. Wait. Can we go down? Here, I'm going to try something. I know that's as low as we can go right now. That's fair. That's fair. Whoop. 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 There it is. Gene isn't skip. What do you mean? Why can't I be there? Und keine Eier. Und keine Eier. Yeah, there's no eggs. I'm sorry. No eggs. I refuse. Boy, get us out. No. Deal with it. Live in your cage. Yummy. You're a good citizen? Good citizen of what country, huh? What country? What is the name of my fictional country?
Let me go. Please, I'm a good citizen.
No.
Roar.
Why are you roaring? Why do you think that would work? Huh? Look. If you can figure out what I would call my made-up citizen country, then I'll let you go. But until you name it, you're staying in there. Nah, your Brahman's gonna get soggy. I'm gonna let it get soggy. And once it becomes like the liquid, I will feed it to you.
That stain in the corner. You really don't want to know. Let's just
Gene
say.
Villigerger. No. Nope. What? I can't be your Essedox? Nope, Essedox. My Essedox. Whoa! I make good food. Holy crap, 1 second.
Should I DoorDash ramen to my work? Treat myself for being late to work, lol.
Yes, you should.
Can I have some strawberries to munch on in this cage?
Fine. Fine, you can have strawberries. Okay, I'll let you get your ramen. Okay?
Gene making I enter my villain era with soggy ramen. This is not litty
You can
skibbity
have it.
bibbity.
You're allowed to get it this time. Only this time, though. Go. Just them, though. Nobody else. Nobody else
See, I'm
leave.
smart lucky I ran off, and now I'm eating your food while watching TV in your bedroom.
I don't have a TV. I don't know whose room are you in? Whose house are you in? How did you get into somebody else's house?
Let me out or I poop in the wall again and then strip down if you don't let me out, and I'm gonna go mad.
Insane. Oh yeah, Gibbets is VIP now. Why? Gibbets is an endangered species. It's very important we keep Gibbets alive. Enjoy your VIP, Gibbets.
Too bad I already left.
Wow, rude. Who's pooping in the walls? Don't poop in the walls.
Silly Gene, you're supposed to drink the shampoo, not leave it in your hair after the shower.
Rude! I told that in confidence to everybody on the internet. You can't bring that up now. Why would you bring that up? It's so mean. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for counting. Don't poop in the walls. Okay, so today, do we have plans? No. But my hand does feel better. So the question is, Cult of the Lamb we could do, but honestly, I don't think I have the brain power for it. Now, we could also do Crime Scene Cleaner. Chill vibe. Very good game. Love it so far. I'm worried about running out. Don't yawn at me, Tired. What do you want?
Ugh,
Why
I
are you
feel
yawning?
sick. Don't eat mold, guys.
Don't eat mold. It's bad for you. Do not eat mold. It's bad for you. Well, keep trying, Jay. I believe in you. One day you'll get there. I'm so proud of you. You'll make it one day. World domination? No. We can't. No world domination. No world domination. Not today. Like small rural town domination first. Then the next day,
Let hand continue to get better or immediately fuck it up again. Choices.
the next day, then we do a larger town domination until we get a small suburban area. Then we put a wall around it. We make a giant cage. And then we have big cage. I don't have plan beyond big cage right now, but I think big cage, first goal. Tri-state area. Maybe. We'll have to find 3 states first, though. Biggest cage. The more people we can fit in the cage, the better. If we can fit 100 people in the cage. Wait. By the way, I hit like almost 9,000 followers on TikTok, so we have 9,000 people in here. So enjoy your cage of 9,000 people. Can I eat McDonald's in the cage? You can. How does it feel to be stuck in a cage with 9,000 people? Do you feel them? Do you hear them breathing? Are they pushing it on you from all sides? I need to know. Are you scared yet? No, Vividly, you have to stay. Hey. Sorry. There we go. Y'all don't drink mop water. Why would you drink mop water? That is the worst. It's kind of tight in here. I know, exactly. So. Eventually, you become one big viewer. And then I realize the folly of my ways, because then I have one viewer again. And then I'll never hit partner. So, can you not? Please just do not become one viewer, okay? Fine, Twitch can have its own special cage. Does that make you feel better? Okay. Horror, chill vibes, action game. Pick one of those 3 things, chat. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to say this. Tonight will be the night where I will fall for you over again. No, So, tonight we are going to be, changing the way the authentication works for the server. That being said, everyone who is joining the Discord server, who has joined the Discord server, needs to make sure, if you're using an iPhone, that you have a certain setting turned on. Now, let me figure out what that setting is called in just a second. Actually, I think I have the document listed here. All right. It is this document here, okay? Okay. That is a batch file I was trying to write. Give me a second. Copy. Paste. All right. There it is. So, this is how to access age-restricted servers. You will need this if you have an iPhone to get in, okay? You go to Content and Social, allow access to age-restricted on iOS. I'm going to add everybody on the server right now. Just to remind everybody. Here we go. Nap time? Nap time. It won't show on the computer? What do you mean it won't show on the computer? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, nap time? Because very specifically it says how to access the age-restricted server. You just go into your settings, content and social, and then allow access. You just have to access the, yeah. All right, 1 second. I don't know what you're saying it only shows on computer. What only shows on computer? You're gonna have to be specific here. Are you saying the server only shows on computer? Now you're making me worried. One second. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Give me 1 second while I double check this. Okay. So yes, you will need a PC to opt in. If you do not have a PC and an iPhone, then we'll have to figure it out. We'll have to figure it out. Because the option is either sending your ID to a third-party source or using a PC. So I'll see if there's an alternative. If there's an alternative, we'll figure that one out. Okay? You do have to change it on PC. And that's the thing. If you don't have a PC, that can cause an issue. I did already catch up to Unix. No, Macaroni, it's not bad. You're fine. I'm just telling everybody that the way it's happening is changing because a lot of people were not comfortable with that third-party source. Yeah. And that's what I want to check. I want to make sure that it works from a web browser on your phone, because if it works on a web browser on your phone, then we're fine. And then people just will have to do that. They'll have to get on with the web browser on their phone and then be fine. But if not, then not. So, I'll test that tonight. And if it doesn't work, we'll know. Okay? Okay? We good? Everybody good? Everybody comfortable with this? No, we're not doing this right now, Ink. We're not doing this right now. I'm going to test it, or Tired. We're not going to do this right now. I am going to test it tonight. I'm going to test it tonight. Don't test it right now, because I'm done with this conversation. Okay. For last time, I'm changing the way authentication works on Discord. That's it. That's all I wanted to announce. We're changing the authentication method. I love you all. Ink, you're fine. You don't need to be quiet. Good. We're done. I love you. Shush. I will eat all of you. There we go. Yes. Good? We good? Perfect. Love you. Mwah. Behave yourself. Now. There we are. It's fine. Oh, cannibalism. Cannibalism is off the table for you. It's not for me. I can do whatever I want to do. Anyways, so I need something calming. We're playing Crime Scene Cleaner. I need it. I need it tonight. Yeah, of course, double standards. Why not? Not fair. Look. Who cares? Not me. Mine. Thank you for the bits. Greatly appreciated. So yeah, we're gonna do Crime Scene Cleaner because I need something to vibe with. And yes, I'm a little overstimulated right now. So we're good. Give me a second while I pull it up. I know exactly. What are they gonna do? Stop me? Did you have fun with that? There we go. I have no brain. Me too. Me too. How dare you? I'm no longer muted. I was waiting to finish being pummeled. Relax, people. Let one person say it, and I will notice. There. Okay. It's time. Ow. Where were we? Let me turn up the volume. So. Hey, Vanya. Can you not approve those or go through the redeems right now? Or who's ever going through it right now? Please? I will go through it after stream. Thank you. Okay. I did want to talk about I will be doing a collab tomorrow, so stream will be starting at a later time. Only a little bit later. We will be doing shared chat. And so I want you all to be on your best behavior, okay? So that means even though I forgot to move all the furniture back. Okay, oh well. So, that means that I know we already have a limitation on, like, sexual stuff, but I mean, I don't want any sort of, like, you know, aggressive, like, flirting or anything like that. Or not that you all aggressively flirt, but, you know, I mean, like, sexual innuendos and stuff. Usually I'm fine with them, but we'll be in somebody else's chat. So I want you all to behave yourselves, okay? There you go. Yes. Let me turn up the audio here. I want to make sure everything's up. Settings, sound. Okay, cool. You don't want to go to jail again? Well, sometimes you need to be in jail, okay? Sometimes you got to be in jail. Ooh. Ooh. Wait, what if I think I want this to be stronger. I'm just going to maximize the strength on this thing. There we go. What happened to your knees? Enjoy your studying. Enjoy your studying.
Babe, we're almost done. Are you ready?
Not yet. Something's wrong.
One sec. Was not expecting music to be playing in this. And so now the music's overlapping even though I turned the music sound off. There we go. Oh.
That's strange.
I'm sorry.
It usually works for me. God, just shut up. Try another one.
Finish there?
Everybody will be in the cage together. It's great.
Why can't things go right for once?
Okay, I'm a bit loud? Okay. Game good? Yes, no?
Morning, Kowalski. This time I have an easy job for you. You need to clean after that rat.
Okay.
One small apartment, just a few bodies. Go
I have a bad feeling about this.
Tidy it up, and that's it. That fool and his my girlfriend.
I have a bad feelings about this.
Conspiracy meeting against me. Now at least I'm done for good with this nomad shit.
Why would it be?
Sake, Tyler. You of all people should have known that this guy wouldn't let it pass.
Yeah, why would this be an easy job? Yeah, only a few bodies seems really suspect. Statistic. Oh, fun. Also, Mariah, I hope you enjoyed the artist tag. Oh, where are we going? There it is. Rat problem. It is small. Okay, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Like, it's only 5 bodies, and it is a small apartment. Like, how bad can it... So, chat, what if I quit my stream streak? What do you think?
It'll be a long night. Sometimes I wonder.
No, you sure?
To end up like this. Tyler was a grown man.
A crime? Don't you dare. What do you mean, don't I dare? Why not?
More I could do to save him.
Never?
But was that
Because you will leave us forever? What do you mean? What do you mean?
At last, here I am, Tyler.
Oh. Okay. I won't quit yet. You're right. I am that kind of person who, if I do quit something, I tend to, like, not pick it back up again. So, maybe I would leave forever. Not intentionally, obviously, but fine. I won't go anywhere, I promise, okay? Wait. Settings, sound. There we go. Oh, we can do music. Okay. Hey. All right, what are we feeling? Chill study music. Folk. Ooh. I guess we're doing bad call right now, right? So we should do... Oh, I kind of like that. What about jazz? Ooh. You'd find me and make me stream? I dare you. That'll work. You've made it? You got the basement clean. Well, good, you can help me with this room. Double dog dare. So goofy. Wow, look at all this. This is... Whoa! You know what? Alright, let me find a place to fill up buckets. There we are. Alright.
Sorry, Tyler. This isn't the kind of trouble I can get you out of. Who knows? If I won't end up like that one day.
Got a point. A lot of marinara. I know, right? This is one of the bigger buildings we've been in.
Best time for snacks.
For being, like, supposed to be a size 1? I guess some of the other places had outside areas, and maybe that's why. But, like, what? All right, 1, 2 bodies, 3 bodies.
You must be Trisha. Tyler talked a lot about you.
You didn't send help. Well, you gotta. Sorry. All right, 2 more bodies. Wherever they are. There it is. This is fine. I'm looking forward to this, honestly.
Nowhere to hide.
Not me, Astrobun. How dare you? Never.
I wish we had met under different circumstances.
Exactly. Well, technically, I let everybody out of the basement to go bring a new guest, a new friend. Not everybody brought somebody, though. So, you know, not everybody got out. Okay. We have 4 out of 5 bodies. I were a body, where would I be? In the fridge?
Looks like normal party supplies.
No. The oven. Pizza. There it is. Okay. Easier than I thought it was going to be.
Leave. The movie night is over.
You know what? I'm looking forward to this collab tomorrow, though. They were talking about, like, how they do this thing where they want to check to see what people's energy levels are like. And so before the stream, they're like, they rank their energy level and everybody else's energy level just to see how things are going. I think that's cool. And I admire that, you know, putting the effort to see, like, collabs work out. And they won't work out for everybody, you know? Sometimes the energy is just not there. You do your best. How long is the night stream usually? Your energy levels are they bad today? You know what? Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should ask chat how your energy levels are at the beginning. That way we can get a spectrum. I got a bit overstimulated, so my energy levels did drop a little bit, but overall, I think I'm doing pretty nice right now. 2 hours is the minimum. Ideally. Sometimes it doesn't happen, but it is the ideal. I feel you. Yeah, Roger. Very valid, very valid. Oh, well, no, even if I'm not on time, I like to make the stream run longer. It's the morning ones that I can't run longer. I will usually not look at the time. I will usually look at the, whatchamacallit? The hours. Sometimes, though. Yeah. Happy dance. What are we talking about? Happy dance. Pink. Hi, Pink. Hi, Pink. There we are. I think filling this thing up was the right idea. Your cats are fighting. Oh no, I'm sorry. How's it going, Pink? By the way, we've christened some new artists today. Yes. So people whose art I use, I have, you know, got it. Give him the artist tag.
All work, no play.
Abandoned Sin and microfiber? Oh, we'll definitely use microfiber eventually. But I'm taking care of the big messes real quick with the spray thingy. Just to make things a little bit easier, a little bit quicker. Now there's going to be things like this, where we don't want to use that on there, because I don't want to break everything.
Cleaner's job is not making mess.
Well, never mind. Change of plans. Apparently, I don't care. I need a new TikTok idea for tonight, by the way. Anybody have one for me? I had one planned, but I realize I can't do it tonight, and I have to wait till the next day to do it. You are an artist. You do art. Did you ever make the stalking TikTok? I did not. I think I might have recorded that one, though. I'll just see if I already recorded it. All right. Could do more affirmations? I could. But I want that to become my thing, you know. I don't want people to come to me just for the affirmations. I'm voice acting. I'm boy failing. Mine was more of a response to a situation. Because I'll say my normal vibes definitely... Oh, yes. Thank you. Boy failing? Well, yeah, but how do I make boy failing a TikTok? That's fair. Your day-to-day. Oh, you want me just to explain my day-to-day? How do I make that into a nice, clean 1-minute sketch, though? I'll think about it. And then tomorrow is going to be engagement bait, but I have to post it at around 4, so yes. If I miss a spot, well, I do need to clean this entire place, so right now we're just doing a general clean. Don't you worry. All right. And we'll do a little bit of this.
Blood. I'm seeing red now.
And I think that's a good general clean to start. Still some stuff on the door, but we want to come back to that. Oh, here we go. Just gonna do the floor in here. And there we go. A nice little starting clean. You'll be back? Oh, shoot, right. I'm on call. Give me a second. Let me make sure I don't have anything going on. There we are. The cage is in your mind. The cage is in your mind. Okay. Bodies. Bodies are done. Next, we're going to do trash. Probably starting from the back and moving forward. If anything is trash. And then we'll come back and get the furniture. All right, everything is good there. Perfect, perfect. Oh, hey, thank you for the follow. Let me turn that on real quick. There we go. I forgot to turn on the notification noise. Your single brain cell? Vibes, vibes. Honestly, my brain is totally fried right now. I wish I had more of a brain. I wish I did. But so much stuff happens, and then the brain just goes, no. Chat, we're gonna do math. I've decided. What did I ask? Do you like shrimp? I do like shrimp. I used to hate shrimp. Growing up, I hated shrimp. But hear me out. The reason why I hated shrimp was because the first shrimp I ever had was not normal shrimp. I mean, it was, technically. I had cocktail shrimp. You know, the kind that still has, like, the tail and stuff attached? Where, like, it has a hard shell you still need to peel? And so my first experience with shrimp was awful, as a child, no less. Imagine being given this thing that you have to peel and remove part of its skin to eat, and you have the little legs on it and stuff. It was awful. It was not a vibe for a child. And so, I only ever learned to like shrimp when I went to one of those Benihana places, you know, where they do they put all the stuff, they cook it in front of you on the big stone, and the guy crushed shrimp with his knife or spatula and threw it at my face, and I caught it first try. And ever since then, I'm like, oh, maybe shrimp can be okay. And now I like it. Oh, on some shrimp, they have the still have the shell.
Can't pick up anything with a full bag.
It was like a hard piece on it. Well, aren't the places... Isn't it a Benihana? Isn't Benihana a brand of them? Hibachi. That's fine. I might be wrong. But yes, I do like the hibachi grill. They're cool. Have you ever ordered from a hibachi place? Just carry out? I have. And they all the food is already pre-cooked, and they do with this big vegetable and the sauce stuff, and it's good. It's good food. It kind of defeats half the purpose, but it's great. A hibachi place. Again, hibachi places are the place where they cook all the stuff on a big stone. Also, hello, Courtney. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining, and welcome to the menagerie. They cook Asian stuff in front of you. Thank you for the check-in, Sarah. I'm gonna cry in a corner. Don't cry in a corner. Why are you crying, Moreau? What's up, sweetie? What's the question, Lucy? Hellrise, Lucy. What's up? I'll wait for the question. Pick this up. Oh, I'm sorry that you're hurting.
Looks like they were trying to get their lives together.
This is what you get for putting your lives together, man. Apparently you get murdered, and then I have to clean up your bodies.
I need to clear the way first.
Yes, you can be let free to go grab a friend. And that is the only exception that I'm making right now. If you're going to bring more people in, you'll be allowed to leave for that. Moreau got screws? Screws? Would somebody else like to talk for me? Anyone? Would you like to take my place in my conversational abilities? Alright, Macaroni, go for it. What do you got? Or Neeks, one of you. Say what I was gonna say. Gene don't got the spoons. My dear friend is in a college class. Nice. I'm going insane. Many numbers. Sweet. I promise to bring them to you, and I'm being coffee for you. All right, be coffee. Enjoy the experience of being coffee. I hope it is everything you could ever want it to be. Do you know how chaotic that'd be if everybody was using text-to-speech and just spamming? That'd be insane. I would go crazy. Imagine everyone talking at the same time. You're bringing me coffee. Oh, Val. Hey, I had ideas. Ow! I have ideas. How dare you have ideas? I must hit you now. So, you all know how I'm a shut-in who doesn't really go do anything and has no friends in person and only hangs out with his stream because they're his favorite people. Right? Right? We all know this? Yeah, exactly. So, a sad nerd life. I think my life is pretty cool, honestly. I think my life is pretty cool. I make good content. I get to do story stuff. I get to meet really, really cool people. Thank you, Macaroni. Thank you. I wanted the sarcasm pity more than anything else. Well, trust me, once I get established, y'all, I'm going to make sure y'all don't have the same kind of boring sadness I do sometimes. Okay. So. Ooh, what's this? Ooh.
I'm taking this home.
Yeah, we just robbed the dead guy's stash. I had an idea. I want to do some IRL. Oh, well, tell them I am cute. I want to do some IRL TikToks. You know, going out and taking y'all for coffee or something. Letting y'all out of the basement a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so the idea is going to be, I'm going to go to places that I've been thinking about going, like coffee shops and stuff. Take pictures in a way that I can use it as a backdrop for when I make my little Tiki Talks. And then I can make TikToks out of stuff around me and actually go out and do things. So, yeah, 50-50. I think it'll be cool. Plus, soon, we are going to Japan. Not physically, but my sister's in Japan, and she's going to do a video tour of a place with us. Without doxing, I'll make sure that it's a distance away from me. I mean, we all know that I'm in Colorado.
Tyler seems to have liked music.
So
I guess music didn't like him back.
Yeah. It will not be like, you know. It'll be all right. It'll be okay. I'll make sure to at least be like 30 minutes to an hour away from where I live, minimum. Mm-hmm. Actually, Anna, I'm in your closet right now. Sorry I have to tell you this. I can't believe you wore that. The only reason why I do mention where I live is because I can legally smoke weed here. So that's the entire thing of like, I want y'all to know that if I am smoking a little ganja, it is because it is legal where I'm at. And I don't smoke much. I mostly only eat it. I'm not smoking again. Though I do occasionally take a hit of a vape when I am feeling very anxious or cannot sleep. Oh yeah, you most definitely outsmoke me. I am a lightweight. I'm an absolute lightweight when it comes to cannabis, which is nice. Do you know how nice it is to like not have to worry about that kind of stuff where people like have to overload themselves? Just be like, yeah, I'm gonna have a tiny piece of a brownie and be happy. So chill. Yeah, no, I'm better than you. I'm sorry to tell you that. You want brownies? I could go for like a real brownie. Hey, no swearing. You better bark now. You know the rules. That only applies to me, but, you know, I think it'd be funny if you listened to my rule. Don't leave, Vanya. I'll miss you. Don't go anywhere. Stay here.
Wolf, bitch!
Vanya, are you doing okay? You can always DM me if you're not doing all right. Exactly. And so I do not. That was aggressive. That was aggressive. Oh no! Oh no, she was pregnant! Oh no! Oh, that's sad. Wow, this just got sad. Huh. I don't know where the cat is. That's not what I wanted. Well, I mean, the other ones were just murder, and, like, murder happens. And, like, I mean, oh, the one guy slept with the other guy's wife, and he knows he's a crime boss. I'm like, there's a certain point where you've associated yourself with awful people. You kind of know what's going to come for you when you, like, intentionally go out of your way to do stupid things.
It won't move like this.
But, like, there's a difference between that and a child. Did you bring me brownies? Ah, fine. Ooh, thank you so much for the Wadim. There you go. Oh, the music stopped. Let's get some more music going. Settings. Perfect groove. There we go. You bake me brownies? I would love brownies. Yeet. 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 There we go. Oh, the cat left earlier. I remember the cat ran out the window. Yeah, we're fine.
Is Sudoku back to its former glory?
Mm-hmm. This is a really cute place. I feel bad for him. Really? Okay, so we have the German voice and we have the... Okay, so we're gonna do... Well, of course, we're going to do the German voice first, and then we will do Viney right afterwards, okay? We have to do it in order. I have to do it in order. So, this is the voice you get first. You'll be patient, and you will wait. Why'd you say I don't have the same speaker? That's fine, it's fine. It doesn't really matter, does it? Viney German, why would you want me to do that? That is so... Then I would have to cut the time down of this one, too. Is that what you want? Would you like me to cut down the time of this? Is that what you really want? But why? I mean, I can do my best. This is really the best I can do.
I should clean it first.
So I suppose we have to clean this, okay? I'm going to clean this here and there. Oh, such a messy couch. Why is it always so messy? Middle ground, I'm doing it. I'm trying my best. It's really good. What do you mean it's very good? It's just the exact same as everything else. It's not very different. Ah, where is the thing that... There is the dirt. Oh, it's always so hard to see. Why does it sound like a German sad dom? Why do you think about these things? That is my question for you. Why do you think about these things? And we are done with that part. And now I can do the normal voice. We'll do this one as requested. There we go. Clean it up. That is nice and clean.
I think I actually feel slightly better.
Sudoku therapy. Maybe you should have thought about getting a second opinion on that.
There we are. Sudoku.
Amateurs.
Enjoy your passing out. All right. Nice. Okay, back to this room.
Cleaning comes before fixing.
I will clean the chair. Don't you worry. I will clean everything in this place. Everything needs to be cleaned. Everything will be cleaned in due time. Promise.
First things first. Gotta scrub. Interior design.
Bye-bye. Good night. Good night, good night. Call Gene Mr. Clean. Do not call Gene Mr. Clean. Why are we calling me Mr. Clean? Mr. Clean Gene? No. No, not allowed. What is this? Oh, this is awful. Never mind, we're doing our own music. All right. Let's do this one. There we go. That's better. Welcome back. Oh, welcome, Foxit. Welcome, welcome. Hey, I'm proud of you. You did a good job. You did a great job. All right. Let's pull out the blood light. There it is. Oh! Forgot about that. Forgot about that. Oh, I like my coffee with 2 creams, 2 sugars, but I really prefer a flat white. Orange soda made me fantasy. Wow. Wow. A fantasy? Really? Come on, Siri bot. You can do better than that. I believe in you. We're missing some blood here. Where's the blood that I'm missing? Oh, here we go. Okay, 95. Oh, that's fine. Stop falling over. Okay, come on. I don't understand these vases. Ah.
Need to empty the trash can first.
Why is a grow fact a thing? That's crazy. What do you mean Twitch hates you? Did something happen? There we go. Streambot does Cafax? I like Cafax. What am I missing? I'm missing something here. There we go. You've been double sourced? Wait, what are we talking about getting outsourced? I'm not outsourcing my mods. That'd be insane. Oh, very cool.
First things first. Gotta scrub, scrub, scrub.
There we are. Imagine outsourcing my mods. You think any streamer's done that? Like hired somebody from another country to I mean, I guess all my mods, most of my mods are not from the States. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
This was out of my control.
I don't want to replace you. I don't want to replace you.
Reunited with your son now.
Because y'all work for free, and I can't afford more than free right now. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Such a hipster apartment. Vanya, I'm not dumping you. I already said I'm not outsourcing anybody. You're fine. Where's the... Oh, there it is. Don't table flip. Did you flip... What? Yeah, Twitch Millions is actually 100,000, I hope you know. Or it's not even 100,000, it's like 80,000, so, give me 2 years, hopefully. Why are you throwing and flipping things? Hey, thank you for the follow. Greatly why is there a steak? There we go. But thank you. Thank you for the follow and welcome to the menagerie. Yay, clean the computer monitors with a sponge. By the way, I found my number one pet peeve. You want to know what my number one pet peeve is? You ready for this? It is misnaming very common electronic equipment. That is my thing. No, see, that's fine. That's fine. It's calling things by the wrong name. All right, I will probably remove the SiriBot facts because it's a bit much. A few is okay, but let's not fully just clog everything up with SiriBot facts. For instance, no, worse. I had somebody call saying they needed a program installed on the modem because they had a new one sent out. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? A modem is what you have internet through. And I keep asking like the internet? Like you have a modem, like the thing that only does the internet, that gives you internet signal. Yeah, that thing has the program installed. I'm like, You what? Who'd you get this from? Oh, you guys sent it for me because of Windows 11. No, that would have nothing to do. What? Can I? What? And because like at that point you're so confused, I can't even say, hey, can I remote into your computer because he says he's not on a computer, right? So it's like, what am I supposed to do at that point? And eventually I realized he's talking about a computer, so I can remote in, take a look, actually see what's going on. But it was so annoying. Trying to convince this guy he didn't have what he thought he had. And the fact that even like, I mean, at least monitor and computer, I can understand, kind of. It sucks when they're like, hey, here, I have a brand new, computer. It's like, no, you're talking about just the screen, right? It's not a computer. But yeah. And by the way, not only did he not need to have the program installed that he was looking for, because it was already on there, he was talking about how does he sign in to a specific program. Yeah, that's it. It's like it's on the computer already, but clearly it's not working, so it needs to be installed. Huh? And this is at like 6 a.m. in the morning, by the way, so I'm like half asleep trying to figure out what's going on. It was just nightmare. Trying to figure out, trying to understand. I don't know. They're in another state or potentially country than I was. But a lot of them, like, they just work with the factory equipment and stuff. And don't get me wrong, like, they probably know more about the factory equipment than I'll ever know. So, yeah, they have their know-how and their knowledge, but come on. That's worse. I mean, at least calling every game console a Nintendo like my mother used to do can at least make sense, because at least it's a console. Oh, this was a movie setup. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, especially if you use PCs for everything. I mean, one of well, I can't say anything without giving anything away about where I work, but yeah, it's not small. Well, I'm going to assume it wasn't. I'm going to assume it wasn't. All right. Oh, I'm missing a lamp. There it is. How naive. Well, I mean, I think they're trying to get ready for like a party or something. I mean, I guess it could be that kind of party. Pregnante. Exactly, pregnante. What am I missing? I'm missing a cushion. If I was a cushion, where would I be? Pregnant? Exactly. My phone is on 5% battery. You probably have to actually activate the notifications for my channel if you are wanting to do that. Does this still have blood on it? What do you think? That one's clean? Clean, okay. 35, 36. Where is it? Oh, wall painting. Okay, I forgot about wall hangings, actually. That one's fine, that one's fine. We still need that one cushion. There it is. And now let's see if we can rob anything here. Yay! Broke the armrest. Oh no, I'm sorry. We're doing okay though. There we go. Wait, what do you mean get rid of the trash? Oh, okay, what is trash? What trash am I missing? There's 1% trash here somewhere. Where's the 1% trash? Oh, this is the worst. Where's the 1% trash? Wall Street. Oh, valid. Valid. Where is it? What's up? What's your request? Money. What is a zong? Wait, is zong one of the ones that like fill up? Because I've been thinking about getting one of those. Do your best Nerf voice for a full minute. There is a redeem for that. So if you would like that voice, you have to do the redeem. And then we have another. And the sniffer. It's nerd voice. It's about 3,000, I believe. Ow. Enjoy your sleeps. Enjoy your sleeps. This is gonna drive me insane. This is gonna drive me insane. There's 1% trash. There's 1% trash. Where are you? Where are you? No. You. Wow. 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 Oh, here we go. Nerd voice. You ready? Here we go. All right, so this is what we wanted, right? This is the voice that you wanted. Are you certain this is the one that you wanted? You have to bear with the consequences of bringing on this voice. This voice is going to be here for a while. Hope you enjoy this voice. We have 2 minutes of it. It's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. It's going to keep going. You've saved up. Well, you keep saving up then. You got this. I believe in you. It's super cool, isn't it? Isn't it the best voice ever? I mean, it's such a voice. We did it. We did it. Look at that. We did so much stuff. And I can open my skill tree now. And look at all these skills I have. Look how cool the skills are. We're going to upgrade this one. And then we're going to do a little bit of this. What is that? Increased one's ability to clean difficult stains. I don't know which one that I really want. I just want the Scrub Daddy. I was going to get the Scrub Daddy, and that's it for that one. Okay, this one is the space station. Makes things a little bit too easy if I have my own opinion about that. So, let's go with this, and maybe this, and this. There we go. I think those are some good choices there. That's the cost of Jeffel. What's your power level like? Carmia, what's your power level like?
Outstanding job, Kowalski. This red tile.
That is how we do it. That's how we do it. Chat, we got it. We win this every time. Your stomach hurts. Oh no! What are you drinking too much milk again? It's gonna make you really nasally. It's gonna fill you up with all the like the boogers. So don't do that, okay?
I just really hope he doesn't get any wrong ideas, so I won't be next on his list.
Yes. Keep it done. Keep it. You gotta go now. Bye, Catherine. You be good. Have fun. Bye. Hey, I believe in you. I believe in you. You got this. I don't know what you're doing, but I believe in you anyways. This is very yummy. I'm so glad I got some curry. I'm so glad I got some curry. That's because Naptime is secretly super wealthy.
Myself in a little bit of trouble. She will contact you soon, and I need you to help her. Do well, and obviously.
Where are we going?
Good day, like always.
There it is. Okay. Let's get that next job. Let's check in on my daughters. Let's see. Dad, lately I've been feeling a bit worse and frustrated how weak my body feels sometimes, but I'm staying in bed all the time. I miss you. I really wish I could come home to you. I know I need to recover first, but I'm strong. Just wait for me a little longer. I can't leave Dexter hanging. Valid, valid, valid. Oh, go to class. Enjoy your class. Nico, there's the nerd voice. I hope you enjoyed that. Why are you flipping me? Don't flip me. Oh, I might make a VTuber kind of thirst trap type thing, by the way. Just a heads up. Just of the model, not of me. Because I got a sponsorship offer, like from TikTok. If you post a TikTok using a certain audio, you get money. And so I want to see if I can make it into a viral thing. Yeah.
Like father, like daughter.
And like up to $400, and so I could use $400.
Really seem necessary.
Should be good. Get that bread, get that head, then leave. Vibes, 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 vibes. Snaps, finger snaps. I feel you.
Get this party started.
Why is this so big? Whoa! What the heck? Whoa! I didn't say I am doing it. I'm saying I might do it. Just letting you all know. Let's see. Still good, okay. You want me to do a poetry slam? What do you mean?
Driving under the influence claims another victim.
What would I be doing for a poetry slam? Just reading poetry?
Burned to a crisp.
Reading my own poetry?
Caught in an explosion from the campfire.
Sassy poetry. What makes it sassy? Hi Zero, how you doing? Performative. Do I have to be performative? Like, do I have to drink kombucha? What if I don't want to drink kombucha? Ow! I thought that was funny.
You shouldn't mix alcohol with ladders.
I'm performative? What do you mean? I don't do things just for other people's attention. I'm dramatic, yes, but I'm not doing a performance. Ow. I drink matcha. I like matcha. I actually do like matcha. It's going pretty good, Zero. I got a bit overstimulated right now, earlier, so my energy's been a bit down since then, but besides that, doing all right. All right, I have 1, 2, 3. I think I had a fourth one around here somewhere. No. That's not what performative means. Give me a second.
A graveyard.
Done or expressed insincerely or inauthentically, typical with the intention of impressing others or improving one's own image. I don't do it to impress others. I do it because I enjoy doing it.
That was a bold move.
What's up, Vanya?
Are you satisfied now, Robin Hood?
Oh, no, I will not do that for you. I refuse. Oh, have fun. You okay? They were paid for. I do them, and I hate them. I don't do them with, like, I guess it's inauthentic, but it's not the right thing. I'm doing a job.
This answer certainly explains itself.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So-called party trick.
Yay. Okay. No, I will not do your homework for you. You can do your own homework. You'll gain no benefit from me doing it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because it's one of the few things they've rendered. It's easy to throw anywhere. I will most definitely not do your online test. That could get me in legal trouble, and that could get you kicked out of your school. You do always have homework. You'll be fine. Carmia, I give you that permission.
The one last landing.
You have the right to do so. So if anybody says they're going to skip class to watch me, no, they're not.
Another one. He must have blown all over.
Good. Proud of you. How long is 600 seconds? 10 minutes. Enjoy your dinner call. You're fine. A crossbow, really?
Evidence to trained professionals.
That's insane. All right, we have a few more bodies to find. What do you mean I'm such a snail? What do you mean I'm such a... What does that mean? Are you calling me slimy? Thank you for the follow, Little the Remy. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you for joining the menagerie. I'm surviving right now. Can I take... Oh.
He must have tried to sleep through the pain.
Ah, perfect. You called me slimy. Or snail. Sorry, I think... Why do I think you called me slimy? It's okay, it's okay. What meds are you on? Are they good meds? Gibbets called me slimy, that's right. Gibbets, I'm taking away your VIP. Honestly, do you deserve VIP? After all of this? No. Kidding though, I wouldn't do that. That'd be mean. That'd be so mean. Technically what? Chivas is an artist. Yes, but I cannot give any more artist badges.
Can't pick up anything with a full bag.
So the only people who have artist badges right now are the ones whose art I am currently using. Oh, anxiety got too much. Was it earlier with the stream? I am sorry about that, everybody, though. Things got a little bit too overstimulating earlier. I will work on that. Neeks does art, too. I know Neeks does. has it already almost been 2 hours? Y'all. Okay, even with things being a little bit more hardcore and anxious earlier, things have bypassed pretty quickly. Flown past. I was gonna make sure I have enough energy for tomorrow's stream. That one's gonna be a bit longer. It's probably gonna be about 3 hours. Luckily, I'll have been home all day, so it should be okay. All right. Trash, 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 trash. Really? That's very impressive. Well, I hope she takes them. It is a beatable game, technically. I think there's just multiple places to clean, and so there is an end. You are trying to collect enough money for your daughter's medical treatment. And so you are trying to reach a point where, you know, you have enough money for her medical treatment. All right, any bodies in here? I was a body. Where would I be? Apparently not back here. Ooh, that's a lot of blood. I do have a coworker friend who did beat this game. At least has finished all the levels. Oh, what is this? Wait a second. Aha! Treehouse, except not really. There they are.
I've already seen everything.
5, 6.
Lady's literally falling for him.
7. All right. I don't think I've been in this one. Ah, key. Hey, thank you for the follow, Ominous Killer. Omni Soul Killer. I misread your name. My apologies. Okay, wait. Oh no, really? 6, 7, 9 bodies. Okay. There we are. Come on. And yeah. You like your brain rot? A new hand touches the beacon. Seven. Thank you for the lyrics. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for always bringing tea. All right. One more corpse. We need one more corpse. I know, right? I have the cutest head pat. I don't use the same one everyone else uses. Mine's better. If I was a corpse, where would I be? Corpsey, 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 corpse. Please come out wherever you are, Mr. Corpse. All I need is to pick you up real quick and take you to my car. Please. Enjoy your nap. Sleep well, be good. Corpse. Yeah. 6. So it's just 3 more. Kid working for a medical building? Really? Why was that scary? Why was it scary? Don't hide from me if you're a corpse. Why would you want to be cleaned up, don't you? You shouldn't hide from... Oh, there it is. Maybe. Yep, there it is. We found it. I already threw it out of the building. Yeah. There we are. Okay. Y'all, it is Halloween soon. There we go. That's fair. Are y'all ready for Halloween? Y'all got any plans? I'm gonna be streaming, as always. There we are. Okay, well, I think that will do it for today on this level. We'll come back. I think I'll play some of this in the morning. Put it all together. Get it done. Take gremlins for trick-or-treats. That'll be fun. I hope you have fun, Silverfang. Nice. Okay. Well, that will be it for today. Come here. Let's hang out here a little bit. I do apologize again for getting a bit overstimulated earlier on. That wasn't fair to y'all. Just got too focused on what was going on. Too much happening at once. Well, good. I'm proud of you for finishing your test. No, it's okay. It's okay. I know the situation, what happened, and I should have just, hey, I'll worry about this later. So yeah. Mwah. All right. Got a C+? Nice. I'm glad you got done with it. So, tomorrow morning, normal chill stuff. I might read some of the books I've been given by authors to check out. We may do some just vibing and hanging and shooting the breeze and being all cool. We might play b-ball outside of my school. I don't go to school, so Nonetheless, though, seriously, it has been so cool to have all of you here. And we're so close to keeping that consistent 51 average. We're slowly building up, slowly getting there. Soon, this is going to be who we are. We got this, all of us. I'm so excited. And anyone who's just been hanging out in the quiet and relaxing in the background, I hope you still also had a good time. Mwah to you too. I kind of want to play Skin Freak. Or more Water Park Simulator. That was fun. Even if I couldn't get anybody captured. So disappointing. But remember, so we had to find out a new thing. We have a new goal for doing the fundraiser. The goal is to get 50 individual subs. Not total subs. We have to do 50 individual subs due to the way this point system works, unfortunately. You'll notice it in the goals down below. We already have about 50. So our goal is to hit a total of 100, but we need 50 individual subs. It'll get us to the first tier of the affiliate program with Twitch. Let me actually tell you what we're at right now. So in October, we're probably not going to hit it, unfortunately. We would need 49 more individual subs at Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3. And if we can hit that 100-point value, we get the higher cut of revenue. Which means it will take less donations and less subs to keep the stream going for the donathon. Oh, the creator must maintain point requirements for 3 consecutive months to be eligible. Never mind. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. We can manage it in 1 month, but nah, ain't worth it. I'm not putting off everything that far because we'd have to wait for 3 months. So that means I would have to do November, December, and January would all have to be kept above the threshold. So I'd need at least 100 subs, or and not gifted subs. Gifted subs don't count. Nope, gifted subs don't count. We need to have 100 individuals come in and sub by themselves. Because we have way more than 100 subs right now. Total, including all the gifted subs, we are at 200 and some. It is a high number that we're at right now. 234 subscriptions. And this is things that people have paid money for, which I really, really appreciate it. Meaning I will have a good chunk of money coming at the end of the month to help pay all my bills. But if we do hit that, it's going to be so cool. Prime does not count too. And neither does Turbo. So I'd have to have 100 individual people or a bunch of rich people who want to buy tier 3 subs come in every month. The lowest amount of people would be... We'd need 16 people, each one to buy a tier 3 sub, which I think is like $32 or like $40. And I don't want you all to waste that money. Let me find out. That being said, you know what you could do instead? Y'all can save your money. Save it up. Get all that cash. And then right when... Oh, it's $24. So right when we get close to, you know, the donathon, you can give money then. Save it. Have fun with it. You know? All right, we're going to find something to raid real quick. Who we got? We got... let me see how they're doing. I tried raid them once, and they're very... not chat focused.
Whoa. All right. Lock in.
What the heck? This is weird. One second. Okay, yeah, no, we're not rating them. Okay, here we go. I have somebody.
Spell that right.
This person, I think I saw them the other day. They were a lot of fun.
Which way is it spelled?
They seem cool. What do we want to do?
Stuff you with schnitzel if you weren't vegetarian. Is there vegetarian schnitzel?
Let's see. And this person's doing art. Okay, bet. This person is doing some sort of trying to learn things. So go say hi for me, okay? Y'all be good. Y'all are the best. Do a little lucky raid. And I will see you all next time, okay, sweeties? You be great. Y'all be amazing. I appreciate y'all so very, very much. Mwah, 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 mwah. Mwah.